What is poppin', squad? It's your boy. You already know who it is, your man Jesimein. And today we're talking about something that a lot of people tend to be in my comments talking about, and that's the whole solo thing. So I have some nice little solo gameplay here for y'all, you know what I'm saying, using Striker. I'm kind of trying to get myself sick of it. I haven't really used it before, like last week, so I want to like put as much Striker gameplay as out because I don't really want to use it anymore after that. But anyways, getting into what I want to talk about. So I have a question for you guys, you feel me? Let's talk, let's chill for a second. Do you guys think, personally, like, don't go off what everybody else is saying, don't go off of what I say, go off of what comes to your mind right when I say this. Do you guys consider the best kind of player to be a solo player? And what I mean by that is a person who's really good at solo, do you consider them better than a person who's really good at group play? And I think this goes back and forth. There's a lot of things that people can argue on both sides, but I just want to talk about it. So on my opinion, on my side, I think solo players take a lot of discipline. I mean, obviously you're by yourself. You have to worry about a lot more things versus having somebody come to save your back. But on the same token, when you're in a group, it tends to be more in-your-face gunfights rather than just funneling and whatnot. A lot of people tend to face tank. A lot of people tend to fight group-to-group play. And obviously we're talking about in equal situations. We're not talking about like a group player fighting against one person. We're talking raw gunfights. So people think that when you're solo that it's just incredibly hard and it has to be 100% respected. But in reality, I don't know what it is, but in my experience, whenever I go solo, it seems the servers are a lot more calm. You don't get the same kind of like treatment that like a manhunt group will get, where everybody comes in and tries to hawk them. I do feel when you're solo, you do deal with a lot of people who obviously want to get a free kill because they know you're by yourself. But I don't know. In my experience, and being that I get a lot of attention even when I'm not rogue, I can truly say I feel like it's kind of even. I feel in group situations, not only are you worried about, you know, your own gunfight, you're worried about your teammates. So sometimes you're popping skills that you could have saved for yourself to help your teammate. You're popping early med kits for combat medic, and you don't have those straight tools that you have just to protect yourself. So when you're solo, obviously everything you have is for you. You have basically all three of your heals, including your ult auto pops for you, so you can kind of bank on that. There's not really a solo build out there that kind of caters to solo players, so you can't really necessarily say that. But what I can say is I feel like it's a lot less stressful when you're in a situation where you know you're the only person you're supposed to protect. You don't feel that guilt trying to go down for a revive or get in a situation and move somewhere because your team left. You basically have full control of where you want to go. Wherever you go, that's where the whole battle goes, because you're solo and they can only get the kill off of you. So yes, on one end, I do feel solo players should be respected, because in this meta, it's not catered towards solo players. So if you're a solo player, bro, and you're really good, and you know you get your manhunts and you go against strikers, predators, and nomad, I gotta tip my hat off to you. You know what I'm saying? I respect you guys. Usually I didn't really care too much. I didn't look into it. A lot of times I do play group because obviously I play with my subscribers, and I have a lot of friends I have to play with. So I didn't really go on a solo rampage streak until recently. Being that the game slowed down in a sense that people aren't necessarily hunting for gear and whatnot, I've been playing a lot of solo just to test to see if I could be as good as these solo players. And I'm not gonna front, you know what I'm saying? Your boy's pretty nice solo. People, I always say whenever I do go solo and people see gameplay, they're like, oh, they're noobs. I can't control who I play against, you know what I'm saying? I just go into the server, I go solo, I don't go under no fake gamer tag, so people know exactly who they're fighting if they do watch. And of course, if somebody recognizes me, they're gonna try their best, and I get their A game, you know what I'm saying? I don't get people being lax because some people see it as opportunity, you know what I'm saying, to handle your boy in the DZ. But anyways, in my case, I do feel like solo players need to be a little bit more respected, especially when they have a say-so when it comes to patches and stuff. Yes, this is a group game, and I will always preach that. It's for obvious reasons. The game was designed as that. It's supposed to cater groups. It's never going to fully cater solo people. But I think after playing solo, after experiencing like what solo players go through, in a sense that the pressure they feel when they do actually go in there solo, I do have a little bit change of heart, and I do feel there should be something that caters to solo people, because it is very stressful compared to having teammates with ults and all that. So yes and no on whether or not I think they're better. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to say, because obviously if you're a really good solo player, that means you should be a good group player. I don't see any reason why, if you're able to go solo manhunt, that you can't go manhunt with a group. Maybe it's just a whole selfish token. I know a lot of solo players who are just kill savvy. They just know how to kill, but they don't know how to support a teammate. But if you're a refined group player, I feel if you're able to delegate your skills with your teammates, and if you're able to have that IQ, when to move, when to push, how to fight, and all this stuff, I think you can be a good solo player too. I've never really came across a bad solo player, unless they're just solo farming and they're not a solo PvPer. Obviously, I'm talking about PvP. I'm not talking about the solo people who come in here and just grind the DZ and get into a gunfight. I'm talking to people who go into DZ knowing they can go solo. Most people who are solo, they can handle their own up into an extent. But let me tell you this, people want to define what makes a good solo player, what makes somebody a good player. You got to think about it. This game is so much dependent on like variables and situations. This guy popped the tack link on me. I'm not even there. Look at GG. But anyways, this game has so many different variables that can change on a whim. It's like if you were to have a tournament, it's basically based on luck, on how many good players you get in your server, because you know there's always going to be the casual person who just comes, who just wants to go in the DZ, and they're not really fond of PvP, and they just hop in there, and you can tell who plays the DZ, you can tell who's just a visitor, you know what I'm saying? And depending on whether you're solo in a good server or a bad server, it changes 100%. People think that the best solo players can go solo in any map. No, there is no way in the high heavens you come across a great group that any solo player in this game can beat. You know what I'm saying? The best group in the game will always beat the best solo player. I don't care. Even if that solo player was 3 times as good as the group itself, if they're somewhat decent and they know how to play the game, there's really nothing you can do when 4 people are shooting you. Unless they're just ridiculously dumb and just stand there and face tank, which a lot of casual type players, and I use casual very, very loosely. I'm not talking about casual people who like work all day. I'm talking about people who don't take PvP serious. They just do it to do it. Those players, maybe they'll sit there and face tank and you get those fast kills, but you get in some situations, especially with these gear sets, that there's pretty much inevitable. It's just a matter of how long you can survive, and it's good practice. I do recommend, if you've never really tried solo, try to go on one solo manhunt. I don't care if it's on a group of 3, I don't care if it's 2 guys, just try to get 5 kills without dying. It does teach you a lot about the game itself, when to pop heals especially, which is one of the most important things in the game. It does train you for that. When you come across Predator's Mark, it trains you how to handle, how to take that person out without bleeding. It's really good, you know what I'm saying? But as far as I think, when people say solo players are better, no, they're not better. They have more discipline, which I respect. They deal with more, which I respect, but there's levels to it, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to group play, there's a lot of things you need to take into consideration. How to be selfless, how to support while taking out kills, while being cautionary of the area, while being able to watch your teammates back, while being able to push, while being able to move. All these different things that you have to respect, especially in a game that's designed for group play. And you know, you can bring 4 solo players together and they'll be really good killing, but if you bring a good coordinated group team that knows how to play in a group, it can shut that situation down really quick, because they take advantage of everything you need to in the game. So yeah, I know this is pretty much redundant for a lot of players because people already know this, but I just want to talk to you guys about it. I just want to see what you guys think. Do you guys truly think if you're good at solo, that means you're better than somebody necessarily? And this goes for the whole 1v1 culture too, because that is a solo base. Solo players are better at 1v1, which I do get, because obviously that's what you do. You're able to be selfish with your heals, and you know when to pop, how to pop. Some players are just so used to playing support that they don't even know. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's pretty much it, you guys. I just wanted to ask you guys, because I had a big conversation with the homeboy, and he was basically telling me, because he's a solo player, he was saying that solo players are basically the most respected type of players in the DZ. Do you guys agree with that? Let me know. You know what I'm saying? I don't disagree and I don't agree, but I'm pretty curious. You know what I'm saying? Thank you guys so much for watching, man. We are growing. You know what I'm saying? 35K strong. About to be 36K. Let's get it. Advice videos coming soon. Stay tuned. If you're new, please subscribe. And let me know below, you guys. What do you guys think when it comes to solo players? Y'all respect them more than good group players? Group players? Don't even know what I'm saying. Let your boy know in the comments below. Drop a like. Love y'all. Thank y'all for watching. Your boy is out.